Why would an owner of a company hired to care for a severely disabled man then take out a life insurance policy on him?
A family in Madison says it happened to their bedridden father, and they told consumer investigator Jennifer Krause it just does not make sense.
That's right, guys. This is a bizarre case that has even state officials scratching their heads. And when we tracked down the man at the center of it all, it got even more bizarre. We'd like to talk to you about what your company is doing. We came to Kevin Madondo hoping he would explain how he and his home care company got tangled up in an apparent life insurance scheme. Why are you taking out life insurance policies on your clients? Instead, we got the silent treatment. But people like Cherie Dowell,
I think that they're taking advantage of people.
Want answers.
So I made a bad joke.
Her father, Charles, was left seriously disabled by a series of strokes. TennCare hired Kevin Madondo's company, Warm Hearts, to take care of Dowell last fall, though the family insists the company never sent anyone to care for him. But later, the family says a man claiming to be with the home care company came to Dowell's house asking to speak with him, giving the impression he was there to organize care for their bedridden father.
He was coming to try to find him some nurses and to figure out what all needed to be done for my father. Spent the few minutes that he spent upstairs, came down and left.
But a week later, when Lincoln Heritage Insurance sent this letter congratulating Dowell on a new $9,000 life insurance policy, the family began to suspect something was wrong. The family then learned that the man they thought was a home care worker was actually Joseph Coomer, an insurance salesman sent to the home by Kevin Madondo, owner of Warm Hearts. And it turned out Madondo was not only paying the monthly premiums on the life insurance policy, he was also named as one of the beneficiaries.
We have never met him a day in our life. He has never called us on the phone. We don't even know who he is, period. So why is he paying for a policy? Why was the policy written?
And there were even more questions once the family saw the life insurance application. While Coomer admits he filled out the application on Dowell's behalf, he insists Mr. Dowell signed it on October 28th without assistance, something the family says is just not possible. How do you know?
Because he never signs any papers for himself. He's not capable of holding an ink pen to sign.
And another form asking to change beneficiaries was purportedly signed by Dowell 3 days later.
Nope, he didn't do it. I'm like, he's not capable of doing that.
And even more surprising was the form named the new contingent beneficiary as Kevin Madondo, even listing him as a friend.
And I'm like, we don't even know Kevin. Who is Kevin?
That makes no sense to me. I mean, why would you do that?
Charlie Weaver is the past president of the Nashville chapter of NAIFA, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. And Weaver says if this is not Dowell's signature,
that makes the policy null and void.
And then there's the section on the application that asks if the applicant is bedridden. And it clearly states being bedridden is an uninsurable condition. Yet the box here is checked no.
He said that my father wasn't bedridden, and clearly my father is bedridden.
Weaver says that's yet another red flag.
It doesn't smell right. It just, there's too many questionable things. Number one, misrepresentation. The guy's obviously bedridden, and yet they say no.
Joe Coomer turned down our repeated requests for an interview, but through his attorney, he told us he had gone to Charles Dowell's home at the request of Kevin Madondo's company. The attorney insisted this was a consensual transaction, that the appointment had been prearranged with Dowell's family, and that this was a life insurance benefit available to him as a member of that organization, meaning Madondo's company. Yet according to TennCare, Charles Dowell was not a client of Madondo's company when the policy was taken out, and hadn't been for a month and a half.
I don't think this was the first time it happened.
Cherie Dowell believes the family was never supposed to find out about the policy and suspects others may have tried to collect the money after her father died. And why would they target your father?
I guess knowing that the condition that he's in.
But Kevin Madondo isn't providing any answers. If there's a perfectly logical explanation, why won't you give it to us? And no answer. Last summer, state regulators moved to put Kevin Madondo on Tennessee's abuse registry after accusing him of financial exploitation of Warm Hearts clients and failing to provide adequate care for them. He's still appealing that case, and in the meantime, he and his company are still in business, though, Vicki, they have since changed the name to Spring Home Care.
It's ridiculous. Thanks a lot, Jennifer.